How's it going, everybody? Severance Season 2, Episode 6. A lot of things happened in this one. We gotta follow through for multiple plot lines, for multiple characters. Most notably, Mark made a big shift since the last episode. We got to see Irving and Britt again. We got some more insight into Mr. Milchick, and he seems to be the most normal of the managerial class at Lumon. Dylan met his wife again, and I 100% called it. I 100% called it. And there's a lot more that happened in this episode. But let's start with Mark S. I think that talk with Mr. Milchick in the elevator rekindled that spark of rebellion within Mark. Because if you remember in the last episode, he gave up. He was like, there's no point in anything. Lumon knows everything. They're smarter. All of that we've been doing, they already know if they're letting us do this. It's futile. It doesn't matter. But I think that confrontation with Milchick in the elevator mixed with the finding of Irving's note in the break room, one, rekindled that fire of rebellion, and two, gave him hope. Mark S. has been stuck in his head since the revelation of Helena. You guys keep correcting me on this. It's not Helena, it's Helena. And speaking of Helena, in the last episode, I didn't talk about this. Trojan horse, she is a Trojan horse, right? Because you have Helena coming in using the body of Heliar's body on the severed floor. Like she was a Trojan horse. And Helena, Hellenic of the Greek, you know? So it's like, it's all right there. But anyway, since then, he's been stuck in his head. His situation with Heliar, his situation with Helena, all that mix up what's going on. His wife died. Miss Casey got fired. His best friend Petey left the company, got fired. He died. Everything is happening. He's focusing on himself. Everything is happening to him. And he's stuck in his head. He feels like everything is against him. And it's like he's fighting this battle on his own. And one person can't fight Lumon. But you see that begin to shift in this episode. After they find Irving's note, it unifies the three again. It gives them that sense of hope. Milchick sparked that sense of rebellion, and now Mark feels like he has something to stand for now. He's not standing on his own anymore. He's back. The team is back. He begins to trust Helly. He opens up to her, even to the point where they share an intimate moment with each other. It was a bit tough for Helly, though, because it was kind of like Mark cheated on her. Like, how could you not know that was not me? That's a completely different person. That's an Egan. That's the enemy. And you couldn't tell? That mishap really messed things up for a bit. It got into Mark's head. It got into Heliar's head. And it got me thinking, what if the whole point of the Ortbo was to get Mark S. into Helena's tent? Either because Helena wanted to experience that type of connection, or it was some type of manipulation. And you see this either manipulation or infatuation continue later on in the episode. You have Helena meet up with Mark's Audi at a diner, at like this restaurant. Is she stalking him? Is she really into him? And the other thing, she mentioned the overtime contingency and referred to it as the other day. So clearly, that season 1 finale was not 5 months ago. That happened relatively recently. Now, let's move on from Mark S. and Heliar to Mr. Milchick. But before we do, actually, I 100% called it, guys. I 100% called Dylan and his wife. His wife is falling for Dylan's innie. Dude, I 100% called it, and she's avoiding the subject just like she did before. She's even more so now avoiding the subject. She lied to her husband and said, we didn't even have the meeting. She's feeling guilty because she's developing feelings for his innie. She feels like she's cheating on her husband, even though it's the same person. Like I said, when the first time they met, Dylan's innie has a sense of purpose. He knows what he wants and he knows what he's doing. Audi Dylan doesn't know what he wants. And so he feels lost. She is attracted to that sense of purpose, that confidence that comes with it. On top of that, Dylan is super sweet and he's funny. I 100% called it. But anyways, let's move on to Mr. Milchick. There's a scene with Milchick. He's sitting at his desk. He's making sure to put the paper clips the right way. And then he gets up and goes to the mirror. And he's practicing speaking with less big words. He's taking Miss Huang's criticism to heart. He's looking at himself in the mirror and just telling himself, grow up. Now the question is, why? Is the reason that he uses big words to overcompensate for something? Is he insecure about something? Is he using these big words to mask some insecurity, some sense of uncertainty? Which is why he's telling himself to grow up. That would make sense. If he has some sort of insecurity, if he feels like he's overcompensating, he doesn't feel like he completely fits in with Lumon, and that is becoming more and more evident. He's not like the rest of the people, which is why he went up to Natalie in the last episode, right? And he was talking to her. He was trying to find common ground regarding the paintings. The very fact that he put on the Ort Bone is trying to do nice things for the innies, it shows that he's not like the rest of the Lumon elite. He hasn't bought in all the way, and that makes me curious as to the direction of Mr. Milchick. What is he going to do? Is he going to get to the point where he himself will rebel against Lumon? We'll just have to wait and see. Now, in passing, Mr. Milchick brought up something extremely interesting about Miss Huang. He revealed that she's part of a fellowship and that she can't graduate until she's wintertide material. Now, I have no clue what that is, but is this fellowship part of a Lumon program, or is it affiliated with some sort of academic institution? Because she's extremely young. If it is the latter, what does that mean? How much control does Lumon have? Does Lumon have affiliations with schools? Are they brainwashing children? What is going on here? How far is the Lumon ideology spreading? Because you see, we had people from season 1 who were out on the streets protesting Lumon. Are they just protesting the severed procedure, or are they protesting Lumon ideology altogether because it is in fact affecting way more people than we actually think? Just something to think about. Now, let's talk about Britt and Irving, and then we'll tie it back to Mark S at the end. Britt and Irving finally meet. They have their dinner with Fields, and casting is perfect, man. Yeah, we had Dr. Bishop, aka Denethor, playing Fields. John Noble is a fantastic actor, and he's perfect for this show. He is fantastic for this show, and I'm just because of who John Noble is and the caliber of his acting, I'm very curious to see what they do with him in the future, if he's going to have a more significant role in this show. But let's bring the focus back to Irving and Britt for a second, and keep in mind what we talked about in the last video. It was kind of odd how Lumon told Britt the truth about why his innie was fired. So Britt, Irving, and Fields are having dinner, and Britt reveals why he took a job on the severed floor. You see, Fields is a Lutheran. He's a Christian, and he plans on going to heaven. Britt, on the other hand, he doesn't think he's going to heaven. So that's like, what is Britt doing? Who is this guy? And the shots you see in this episode, it makes Britt look a tiny bit sinister. He's wearing all black, and it's just like, who is this guy? Anyways, at church, the pastor said that innies have their own soul. And I can see where this ideology is coming from, right? Because they're their own person. They have their own memories. They have their own personality. They make their own decisions, right? So if they have not sinned, if the innie has not committed any sin, right? If they've lived a good life, can't they go to heaven? Why should they be judged for what their outies are doing? So Fields wants to see Britt in heaven. Britt's outie is not going to heaven. So he took a job on the severed floor with the hopes that at least his innie can go to heaven. Now, that's a really interesting concept they just introduced. I'm very curious what you guys think. Do you think that Britt would be judged, his innie and his outie would be judged as two separate people, or is it one person? Now, I honestly kind of align with Lumon ideology with this one. Britt's outie is the real Britt, right? His innie is just the result of a decision that Britt made. I would think God would judge what he created, not the results of a decision his creation created, aka his innie. And I'm not invalidating the existence of the innie, but I think when it comes to judgment and salvation, I think that's in the hands of the true Britt. The same can be said for an Alzheimer's patient. Just because somebody forgets who they are and what they've done, it doesn't mean that everything they've done is just wiped away completely, you know? Okay, enough with the theological speculation. Let's get back to dinner. Irving and Bert and Fields are having this dinner, but in the meantime, while they're having this conversation, you have somebody snooping around at Irving's house. And you see him going through these files that Irving has been looking at, right? The list of all these Lumon employees, okay? And you see a tattoo on the hand of the individual that says Frolic. And you might be thinking, wait a second, that's very familiar. Well, it should be, because you've seen it before. That is none other than Mr. Drummond. So you have a Lumon elite snooping around in Irving's house. Now, this begs the question, how did he know Irving was not there? Is he spying on Irving? Is Irving being spied on? Or was he informed by someone? And was that someone Bert? Now you see the reason why I brought up the last episode. Lumon told Bert why they fired him. Why was he privy to that information? Is he in cahoots with Lumon Elite? And he revealed it to Irving. Why did he reveal it to Irving? Is he trying to get into Irving's head in some way? Is he trying to build a connection with Irving's Audi, to build some sense of trust, to maybe get Irving to reveal what he's looking into? Because if Bert didn't reveal to Irving what was going on, what his innie did, Irving would have no clue. And then Bert invites Irving to dinner. And after dinner, Irving expresses, hey, I had a good time. We could do this again. And Bert says, with just me? Or Fields also? Insinuating, planting the seed. Or even if the seed was already planted, he's accentuating it. He's watering that seed. He's being flirtatious. He took a dinner that was designed to completely clear out the water, say like, hey, there's no connection between the two of us. Nothing happened. That's something the innies did. We have nothing to do with it. He took that opportunity. He took the dinner to build a relationship between himself and Irving's Audi. He saw that slight interest from Irving and then immediately doubled down on it. So it begs the question, did Bert plan this whole thing? Did he plan this dinner? Is Fields in on it as well? We'll have to wait and see, but it is an interesting thought. Now, as I said, let's quickly jump back to Mark and we'll end the video. So Mark's Audi is continuing with the reintegration stuff. That's continuing. He's getting more memories. The memories are colliding and overlapping, and we're seeing more of Audi Mark's memories in Innie Mark and Innie Mark's memories in Audi Mark. And honestly, it sucks. It sucks, dude. I honestly don't care about Audi Mark. I really don't. I don't care if he ends up with Gemma again or not. I honestly don't. Because finally, Innie Mark and Helly, they cleared things up. The Innie Mark is on his path, right? You know, he's happy. He rekindled that relationship with Helly. He's back on the team. They're all on the same page again, okay? This reintegration is going to ruin all of that. This reintegration is going to ruin all of that, because once those memories get into Mark S's Innie, it's over. It's done. When he sees Helly R, he's just going to see Helena. And he's going to have feelings for Miss Casey, a.k.a. Wait, what's his wife's name? Gemma. It's done. The more this reintegration continues, it's going to completely sabotage Helly and Mark S's relationship. It's over. And honestly, man, that sucks, dude. That really sucks. But that's my thoughts on this episode. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Where do you think things are going? Let me know down below. And I'll see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.